What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Lumiose Post, where we talk about all things Pokemon. And today we're going to be talking about something that I just haven't seen a lot of people talking about, and that is the Scarlet and Violet DLC. Now, not like people have been talking about the DLC, but specifically what this means for the franchise, because it's more than just, oh, a game's getting a DLC. This honestly is comparable. It's not quite as big, but it's comparable to the moment that Legends Arceus was revealed to us. You know, that was such a groundbreaking moment. You know, we had just gotten the reveal of Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl, and we're sitting there like, you know, okay, well, that's our remake for the year, Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl. But then they're like, oh no, but then also, you know, just 2 months later, we have Pokemon Legends Arceus. It's going to be this brand new type of adventure. You've never seen anything like it. You know, it's set in the past, ancient Sinnoh, all this. It was really, really cool. And this is really comparable to that. It's not quite that big. I'm not going to say it's quite that big, but it is comparable to that. And you may be going, well, why is that? DLC is nothing new. And you're right, but that's exactly why it's such a big deal, is that comparing it to the past DLC, this is way bigger. So first off, this DLC is not set in Paldea, and that is a huge deal, and I'll go into why. Previously, with the Sword and Shield DLC, it was set in the Isle of Armor and the Crown Tundra, which were just other parts of the Galar region that we had not yet visited. But with this DLC for Scarlet and Violet, we have been told several times, like they really want to make this one thing clear, if nothing else, that we are going outside of Paldea. Kitakami, that is the area where the teal mask will be set, is outside of Paldea. The Indigo Disc is going to take place at Blueberry Academy and probably another location, and it's stated that's out of Paldea. So, again, both these locations are out of Paldea, and that's a big deal. For one, because this blows the door wide open for variants, new Pokemon, and evolutions. How is that? Well, this is a brand new region, so it could justify Pokemon including new Pokemon, and not like new Pokemon like Ogerpon or Okidogi, not Pokemon like that. I mean just regular new Pokemon. You know, a big kind of, not complaint, but I guess notice of Scarlet and Violet was that Scarlet and Violet didn't stick to like the traditional Pokemon norms. You know, like on the first route, you can find Tarantula, and you can find Lechonk, and you can find Pawmi. But Pawmi is a Pika clone and not the regional rodent. So where's the regional rodent? Well, you could say it's Tandemaus, but Tandemaus isn't found till later. Well, about the regional bird? Well, you could say it's Wattrel, but it isn't found till much later. You know, they very much changed the like I said, the norms of Pokemon games. You know, in the past recent years, or gens rather, we have seen that on the first route you're gonna find, or the first two routes maybe, you're going to find your regional bug, you're going to find your regional bird, you're going to find your regional rodent. There might be an additional normal type mammal, there might be a dog found early in the game, it might be later though. All of that, and Scarlet and Violet said no to that, and even had some things just not appear. So, you know, this game could give us that. This game could give us a regional rodent. This game could give us a regional bird, a 3-stage bird. It could do those things. I don't even necessarily think it would, but the chances are a lot higher than they certainly were in Isle of Armor and Crown Tundra. Now, moving into variants and evolutions, and this really is more likely, and I do think we'll see this, this also gives us the chance to see regional forms. Now, the interesting thing about this is, since Kitakami is not in Paldea, hypothetically, these would not be Paldean forms. You know, again, with Isle of Armor, it introduced us to Galarian Slowpoke, but that's the thing, Galarian Slowpoke. It's still a Galarian variant. These wouldn't be. These would be Kitakamian Furret, Kitakamian Poochyena, things like that. It wouldn't be Paldean Poochyena and Paldean Furret. And that is super, super cool. I mean, because also now, normally, if we were going into this DLC and we knew there was going to be new variants, we'd go, okay, well, what's all the Pokemon not in the game? And those are our options. But since Kitakami is outside of Paldea, they could hypothetically take a Pokemon that is already in Paldea, already in the decks, and give it a variant. So a Pokemon like, say, the Starly line. The Starly line is found in Paldea. It does not have a regional variant, just regular old Starly, but it could have a regional variant in DLC. It could be Kitakami and Starly, or I don't know what the Blueberry Academy's region will be called, but Blueberry and Starly. That's bad. That's really bad. Please don't do that. But all of this could be the case. I mean, we could really see these Pokemon, just anything goes, you know, like, and that's crazy to me. And then also evolutions, you know, the evolutions, we could get more new evolutions in this DLC because it's a brand new region. They could just say, yeah, for here, for some reason, Mightyana evolves. Doesn't happen outside of here, but yeah, here Mightyana evolves. Isn't that crazy? And also, again, you could do that for Paldean Pokemon. So you have, what's a Paldean, a Pokemon that exists in Paldea? I don't know. The Pelipper line. I don't think Pelipper would get an evolution, but that's the first one I could think of that wasn't already a 3-stage. So Pelipper, again, lives in Paldea. It does not evolve. Hypothetically, they could go, oh, but in Kitakami, Pelipper can evolve. This also presents an interesting question of if the evolutions in Scarlet and Violet will still be able to be accessed in Kitakami. You know, people have talked about how there's a little excerpt on Farigiraph's information when it was officially revealed way back in, October, September? Well, they said Girafarig in Paldea can evolve into Farigiraph. And maybe this is just a mistranslation, but it could be the way they're doing evolutions now, is that, like, similar to how with Hisui, you could evolve an Ursaring into Ursaluna, but you can't in Paldea. It could be in Gen 10. We won't be able to evolve Primeape into Annihilate. We won't be able to evolve Girafarig into Farigiraph. But we may be able to evolve a Seaking now into a new Pokemon. All of that could, you know, be the case going forward. And so it will be interesting to see if Kitakami allows us to still evolve Primeape there and allows us to still evolve Girafarig there. And the flip side of that is we could, in Kitakami, be able to access the Hisuian evolutions. You know, it is very traditional Japanese. We did see, like, the Hisuian language on boards and stuff in the Teal Mask trailer. So it's possible that while we cannot evolve Stantler, Ursaring, or can't evolve Scyther into Cleavor in Paldea, maybe when we go to Kitakami, they will be able to evolve there, but Primeape, Girafarig, Dunsparce, and Bisharp will not be able to evolve there. I do think that's a very interesting way to world build going forward, and it does fix the Eviolite retcon, where, like, you know, the Eviolite was an item that allowed us to see if a Pokemon could evolve or not, and so a lot of people have theorized Game Freak didn't want to retcon that item. If that item says Primeape can't evolve, then Primeape can't evolve. Well, it's different because they could just say, but in Paldea it can. It can't normally, but in Paldea it can. And this would kind of give them more leg room to do that with. It also would allow you to access regional forms better. You know, if you breed a Cantonian Tauros in Paldea, it would hatch into a Paldean Tauros. But maybe now, if you breed any Tauros in Kitakami, it would hatch into a regular Tauros. You could also perhaps find regular Cantonian Tauros there. There's so many options. There's so much potential for this being outside of Paldea's borders. It also, and this is the bigger thing in my opinion, it also presents the question of, well, what's next? Like, in Gen 10, what would its DLC be? Because now we know we don't have to stay inside our region's borders for DLC. So you could hypothetically one day get a DLC that allows you to visit, the Kanto region. That's very possible. You know, you could get a DLC that allows you to visit, even if it's not a region, a section of a region. Like, even just being able to visit Sinnoh's, survival zone or battle zone, that island in the post game, or being able to visit the Sevii Islands, etc., etc. Maybe we could even see anime exclusive islands pop up, like the Decolor Archipelago or the Orange Islands. I think that would be so cool, and I do think it really is possible. Again, I just wanted to kind of take the information of the DLC of it being outside of Paldea's borders and really open everyone's eyes to what exactly that means. Be sure to let me know in the comments below what you're wanting from this DLC and what you think it being outside of Paldea's borders could mean for it. You know, what do you think Pokemon's going to do with this going forward? Do you think Gen 10, they'll go right back to just, okay, if Gen 10's set in Italy, we're going to do a place in Italy? Or do you think they might, going forward, go, okay, yeah, Gen 10's set in Italy, but we're going to do DLC in a Turkey-based region? Or we're going to do DLC in Kanto, you know, things like that. I think that'll be super, super cool. I'm so excited to see what this DLC brings, and I hope you guys are too. Be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for notifications, because you know we'll be covering everything this DLC is bringing and theorizing on it, world building off it, maybe even taking it and pulling it apart and talking about what it means for the future of the franchise, even like we are now. So you don't want to miss that. So again, like, subscribe, and hit the bell. And until next time, I will see all of you later.